Hello, viewer. You are once again welcome to our English class. We want to continue today in our discussion of how to pronounce some words in English without struggle, especially some words that have difficulty at pronunciation when we realize a new word out of an existing one. Among the examples we considered in our previous video is words whose spellings end in letter CT with a letter S added to them for realization of a new word. We found out that in such environments, to pronounce such words are difficult, especially as a result of the cluster of the consonants. And what happens is that we have to remove the sound that is represented by the letter T in the final position of the word. Today, we are continuing in the same pattern. So we want to see how words that ends in letter CT can equally prove difficult at pronunciation when we have letter LY added to it for realization of adverb. So let's look at some of the words that end in letter CT when we have to add letter LY to them, how they are difficult to pronounce, what we can do to them. For example, correct. When you add letter ly to the word correct, what it gives you is correctly. To pronounce correctly, you have a lot of difficulty if you must represent this T in the spoken form. And so, what we do is simply take away the sound that is represented by that T and go ahead, pronounce your English without struggle, correctly, correctly, correctly. If you were to pronounce it as correctly, you will have problem. Sometimes we find it difficult to pronounce it, as a result of which some of us remove this sound instead of taking this away. It is the sound represented by this letter that we should remove and go ahead and pronounce it as correctly. Let's look at the word direct. If you have ly added to it, so what you are likely to find is directly, but it is better to pronounce it as directly. 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 Let's look at another word. For example, strict. Strict. Add letter ly to strict. It will give you strictly, but you find it difficult to pronounce it. So the best way to handle it is go ahead, take the sound represented by that letter T and pronounce it this way. Strictly. 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 That is what you find the native speakers pronouncing when you listen to them. They don't usually articulate the sound that is represented by this letter T. They don't usually pronounce it in their spoken English. That is where there is a clear distinction between the written form and the spoken form. In most cases, there are environments where the letters you find in the written form do not reflect when they are spoken orally. Let's look at another word, for example, exact. Exact. When you add letter ly to the word exact, what you have as a result is exactly. And a good speaker of English will wisely take the sound represented by this grapheme, you take it away and pronounce your English without struggle. So you have exactly, 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 exactly. Can you try pronouncing it? With full realization of this thing, you have a lot of difficult articulate problem. You find it difficult to maneuver your tongue and realize all the sound represented by these three consonants. You may find yourself trying to say exactly, you have a problem there. Though some people have the habit of pronouncing it as exactly, it's not easy. If you say exactly, let's attempt saying something exactly. Let's realize the whole sound, all the three sounds here. Exactly. Let's practice it. Exactly. All right. Let's take this. Exactly. Now let's look at this. Let's do some exercise. Exactly. Exactly. Can you try to pronounce it? Exactly. Exactly. How did you find it? All right. Now let's pronounce this. Exactly. Exactly. Now to number three. Exactly. 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 Out of number one, two, and three, which one did you find difficult and which one the easiest among them? Exactly. 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 This is the best way to pronounce it, and this is how the native speakers pronounce it. Not exactly, not exactly, but exactly. 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 You can go ahead saying exactly several times without struggle, but exactly will take a lot of effort. And exactly is very, very hard, but this is the best way to pronounce it. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for being part of us in this class. You can find it that it is easy if you know how to handle clusters like this in your spoken English. It will make things easier for you to speak your English without any struggle, without committing any pronunciation error, without altering the meaning of your intention. Thank you. We shall meet in the next video.